Biden administration has just announced more than 500 new sanctions against Russia this morning. And it comes after opposition leader Alexey Navalny was found dead at an Arctic penal colony 1 week ago. So Weijia Jiang is at the White House with more on these sanctions and a meeting between President Biden and Navalny's widow and daughter. So we knew they were coming, but finally, now that it's 9 o'clock, we've got a few more details about what the sanctions entail.
Right. So as you mentioned, there are over 500 sanctions on businesses, companies, and individuals, not only inside but also outside of Russia. And one of the main goals is to cripple its military operations. And so because there are so many various ones, you can tell, though, by the top lines exactly what the administration is trying to do. As an example, Russia's top company, Michelle, which is the leading maker of specialty steel used in Russia's attack helicopters, are sanctioned, as well as a railroad logistics company. We know that the processing for the Central Bank of Russia is also sanctioned, just to name a few. So basically, the goal is to try to make it very financially difficult for Russia to fulfill these transactions and to have access to certain tranches of money. And so the president, the administration, believes that even though we should mention there have already been more than 4,000 sanctions placed on Russia by the U.S. since it invaded Ukraine, they do believe this largest, most significant tranche that was announced today is going to have a lasting impact and control Putin. But it's difficult to tell, Anne-Marie, because when you're talking about thousands that are already in place and you see Putin's defiance, it's hard to gauge how they might impact the decision-making for the future.
Well, that is the question, right, Weijia? I mean, since the launch of the war against Ukraine, there have been sanctions in place, increasing in intensity. And one of the things, or some of what we have seen, is Putin, solidifying his connection with China, particularly solidifying his connection with North Korea, specifically when it comes to the military aid. I guess the question is, are these sanctions working? Are they having an impact?
Well, administration officials here at the White House insist that they are making an impact, because even they say if it is not stopping the efforts, it is making the military effort especially a lot more difficult. In fact, they say that, Putin has had to sort of re-look at the broader Russian economy, and they claim that he is using the livelihoods of people now to mortgage this war, and that in the future there will be much more consequences to pay for those generations to come. So they ask, just how much is Putin willing to make the legacy of Russia, the future of Russia, downgraded in order to keep going, to keep fighting. But there are no indications, Anne-Marie, that he is going to stop anytime soon.
Listen, before we let you go, Weijia, I want to ask you about the president meeting with Alexey Navalny's widow and daughter, Yulia and Dasha. Dasha is actually a student at Stanford in San Francisco. What do we know about how that meeting went?
Well, we know that the president spent most of his time this week in San Francisco for various fundraisers and a couple official events, so he was already there. We also know that Navalny's widow was visiting their daughter at Stanford, so logistically it was, very lucky that they were able to make this meeting work. And you can see in these pictures, it was very personal. The president was embracing them. He sat with them and he talked about Navalny's legacy and said that he can see it in both of these women, and also afterward talked about how the legacy will live on through the millions of people who are mourning Navalny and who are continuing to fight for democracy and freedom. And so we did not know that this meeting was going to happen until after the fact, but you could see it was very intimate inside of a hotel in San Francisco, and the president was clearly moved when he spoke about it afterward, and just how tragic this is. But again, he vowed that there would be a response. And this morning we saw this very lengthy list of sanctions against Moscow.
Well, of course, the president knows intimately what it means to lose someone that you love, especially your spouse. So I can see how the two could connect. Weijia, thank you.
You're welcome.